This station filled the need I had been, well, needing for a while now. I tried out some new techniques and learned a scary lesson about table saw safety. You'll see what I mean in a bit. This is a station that's going to house my drills, drill bits, sander, sanding discs, and a whole heck of a lot more. I previously had a sanding disc holder and then another cabinet where I put my drills and my drill accessories, but I wanted to build something where everything can be in one spot. Building all the furniture for my workshop has been a real, please forgive me for the cliche, journey, and it's finally coming to a close, kind of, maybe. This is actually the last piece of shop furniture that I needed to build for my workshop, at least for now. The thing with shop furniture is it's a lot of fun to build, and my needs may change in the future, causing me to build some more, which would be totally fine with me because I love building that type of furniture and I'd get to share it all with you. I'm using my table saw to cut most of these pieces to size, but some of these pieces, like the shelves, I'm making a little long and then I'll cut those to their final dimensions later in the build. Although there's some new methods that I'm trying out in this build, I'm using the tried and true method of dados and rabbets. This is actually one of my favorite ways to join pieces together, especially in shop projects, because once you cut all the dados and rabbets, it's like putting together a really simple puzzle at the end, and everything should go together really nicely. I like using this joinery method for shop projects specifically because although it's really easy to do, the joinery doesn't look the best at the end. It doesn't look terrible, but if I was using this joinery method for, let's say, a bookcase for my house, I would probably hide the dados and rabbets with some edge banding. Because this project has a lot of rabbets and dados, let's speed through it a little faster. Okay, that was a lot. Now the way I made these drill and driver holders actually worked out really well. I used a 1 3/4 inch Forstner bit and drilled 2 holes into my bottom cabinet piece. Then I drew a line from the side of each hole to the front of the bottom piece, and then used my jigsaw to cut out the excess that I'm marking with my pencil here. This was really satisfying and it gave me some practice staying on the line when using my jigsaw. One of the big driving factors in building out my shop, surprisingly, has not been workflow, it's been organization over everything. My shop is only 198 square feet, not 200 square feet, I want to make that clear. So building my shop furniture and placing my tools for workflow wouldn't make much sense because I'm pretty much always 3 to 5 steps away from anything in my shop at all times. So even if where I put my tools is bad for my workflow, it doesn't really cost me any time. Where I benefit the most is equipping everything I build in my shop with lots and lots of storage. For some things, I use drawers and doors to keep things out of sight. For this station, I kept everything open so everything's really accessible. Like my sandpaper and my drills and my drill bits and my router bits. I grabbed those a lot, and so I didn't want to have to open doors and try and figure out where things are when I need to use them. Everything's open so I can just grab and use them really quickly. Okay, now that this is in clamps and the glue is drying, it's time to cut the middle shelves to their final dimensions. I waited until the cabinet was in clamps so I knew exactly how wide these shelves needed to be. After I cut these to the perfect sizes, I secured them to the cabinet with wood glue. These shelves actually fit really snug, so I probably didn't need to use glue, but I generally do to make sure nothing goes anywhere, except I guess for some shelves that I put in this very cabinet later in the build. Okay, let me explain. I didn't use any glue when securing the sanding disc shelves later in the build because they fit pretty snug and I didn't want to have to deal with any messy squeeze out towards the end of the project. Okay, here is where I got humbled by the table saw. You're about to see some kickback in just a second, and I'm actually really glad I got it on camera so I could talk about what I did wrong. Yep, that happened. What I failed to do here was push the workpiece all the way through the table saw. The wood got trapped between the blade and the rip fence, and the spinning blade shot the wood back through my wall as you just saw. Luckily, I know enough about using the table saw that I wasn't standing directly behind the workpiece. Because if you watch that clip again, there are a couple of reasons why that would have been really, really bad. Okay, where do I stand on pocket holes? Absolutely love them, especially for shop projects like this when you're not going to see them. Am I going to use them for some heirloom hardwood furniture? Probably not, because I think they're a little ugly and the wood's going to move. But for a lot of applications, these are a great, great option. For some reason, I didn't hook up my dust collection for these cuts, so this is a good reminder to always hook up your dust collection, even if you're wearing a mask like I was. These shelves I'm using for the 6-inch sanding discs that I will have hopefully soon. For the past 3 years, I've been using a 5-inch sander, but I made these slots 6¼ inches wide because hopefully in the near future, I'm going to get the Festool ETS 150, which takes 6-inch sanding discs. My Black & Decker sander gets the job done, and I think it was about $30 if I'm not mistaken when I bought it. But it is time for an upgrade because the dust collection is absolutely horrid on it. So the plan is to get the new sander with a Festool dust extractor because I only have one set of lungs and I want to be nice to them. And I know people either love or hate Festool, and I'm pretty neutral, but I've heard their sanders are exceptional, and since these will be my first tools from them, I'm pretty excited about it. Okay, I'm using a French cleat to hang up this cabinet, and it was actually really easy. This was my first time using this method to secure a cabinet on the wall, and I'm going to be doing it a lot in the future. All you do is you take one piece of wood, cut it roughly in half on your table saw at a 45-degree angle, secure one piece to your cabinet and one piece to the wall, and boom, you've got a French cleat. So I'm not great at a lot of things. I don't know how to drive stick shift. My singing voice could be described as abysmal at best, except when I'm in the shower. But one thing I have discovered I am pretty great at is making plans on how to build furniture. Each project comes with written and video plans, and if you're interested in learning how to build this project in more detail or checking out any of my other plans, I'll put a link in the description. The video plans go in much, much more detail than the one you're watching now, and the written plans are simple yet very thorough. Here's another build that I know you're going to really, really like.